Admittedly, this is a bit oversimplified, but this is just a basic overview of what it's going to look like when you're ready to purchase your very first home. So today we're going to dive into 3 forms of, yeah, man, I've been there. It can be one of the most overwhelming experiences of your life to buy a house for the first time. I mean, you have to deal with the fact that this is probably the most significant purchase you'll ever make. If you're going it alone, the process can even look long and complex. But with proper planning and preparation, this can be one of the easiest experiences of your life. Right now, we're going to outline a step-by-step guide on how you can take your dream from conception to reality. The first thing that you're going to have to do is get comfortable with the idea of buying a house. And one of the best ways that you can really ease into a sense of comfort is by doing your budget. And some of the best ways that you can compile data to write a budget is to talk to a lender. If you can get pre-qualified for a loan, then you're going to have an idea of what your monthly payment's going to be, which is going to help you budget in the future. It's going to let you determine purchase price, so you can see, what it is that you're looking for on the market simply by doing a quick Zillow search or asking your realtor to scan the MLS for active properties in that price range. Determining your budget is going to be the very first milestone that you need to accomplish before moving on into the next step of this process, which is going to be reaching out to a professional for help. So the second thing that you're going to have to consider before moving forward in the process of buying a house is what professionals are you going to work with to help you get this job done. You could reach out to a lender first or a real estate agent. Those are going to be the 2 main players in this game. I would recommend looking at a realtor and asking them for their suggestions on the lender, because typically a real estate agent is going to give you 3 or 4 lenders to choose from. Hopefully they're giving you options. A lot of people go with preferred partners, which can be fine as well if you don't know who you're looking for. But I always like to conduct interviews, and I always recommend that my clients conduct interviews as well. Now, step number 3, this is the fun part. This is the part everybody loves. Now it's time to go shopping. Get with your real estate agent of choice. Take a look at everything in your price range. Factor in your requirements for a home, square footage, bedroom, bathroom count, etc. Narrow it down to a few properties, and on a Saturday, get the kids or take your fiance out and just go shopping. It is the best part of this whole experience. If you have a real estate agent that you have a good rapport with, it can be so memorable. So get out there, create some memories, and go find the house of your dreams. Okay, the next step is to write the offer on the house of your dreams. So you've been shopping, you've seen 4 or 5 houses, you found the one that you cannot live without, and you've told your real estate agent, this is what I want to do. It's time to write the offer. They're going to ask you a few things to consider. Number 1 is something that you should have been considering around step 1 in determining your budget, and that's going to be what's your down payment and what are your closing costs going to be. Now, depending on the market, and your real estate agent is going to walk you through this, you may or may not need to put down closing costs. And closing costs are going to be fees associated with your loan, things like a loan origination fee, prepaids, or taxes and insurance and things like this. The fees that are associated with your transaction. Somebody's got to pay those. Depending on if it's a seller's market, it may be the buyer that needs to pay those. And if it's a buyer's market, the seller will need to pay. And if it's a balanced market, then it's somewhere in the middle. But it's something you should be considering, right? This is the first step alongside earnest money as far as what are the financials of your offer. Earnest money, your real estate agent will explain this to you as well, but it is money that keeps you it keeps your feet close to the fire, so to speak. You put this money down to say, number 1, I'm good for the money that I'm going to be giving you at the end of this transaction, and I'm willing to risk this money should I exit this contract incorrectly, right? So there are contingencies that are built into a contract that you can use to exit your contract correctly, or you can exit your contract incorrectly and the seller can keep that earnest money. So those are the financials that you need to consider. That alongside inspection periods, closing dates, lead-based paint disclosures and other disclosures. These are things that are going to need to be initiated at this phase in your transaction. What is this step 5? I can't remember. Regardless, this step of the transaction is going to be the nail biter. This is, well, first and foremost, congratulations, your offer has been accepted. So this next step can only happen if that offer was accepted. So in this scenario, you are this much closer to being a homeowner. But now we're in step 5, I believe, which is your due diligence period. This is the time in which you can conduct all the inspections that you want on the property. You review these inspection reports and you decide whether or not this is an adventure that you'd like to set forth on. This is one of those contingencies that we talked about. So you can discuss these repairs with the seller and you can see whether or not they'd be willing to cover some. You can cover some yourself, or if the house is in too rough of a shape, you can walk away from that transaction correctly, get your earnest money back, and continue to house hunt. Typically, in the market that I'm in right now in Cheyenne, Wyoming, I give my buyers 2 weeks. A 2-week option, I should say, rather. I don't tell anybody what to do. I'm really a make it up yourself kind of guy, but I think that 2 weeks is a respectable amount of time to get your inspections done where I'm at right now. Where you're at around the country may be different. Ask your real estate agent and get that information. Step number 6, assuming that you've gotten through the inspection period, is finalizing your mortgage. You're going to need to work with your lender in order to complete the steps necessary to complete your loan, have that loan tendered to you at the end of the transaction, and then to finally pay off the existing mortgage and take ownership of that property. Some of the things your lender is going to have done are an appraisal on the property, where a third-party appraiser comes out to the property and gives his opinion on the true value. Sometimes this is in a line with the purchase price of the contract. If that's the case, we continue forward. In my state, if it is above the purchase price of the contract, that's just good news for the buyer. The seller does not get to know the appraisal value in most cases, and so the buyer just gets a steal. And if the appraisal is under the purchase price, well, this is another one of those contingencies that if your real estate agent is helping you out, they will have put that in your contract where you're allowed to renegotiate the terms of the contract should the house appraise for less than what you're willing to pay for it. That alongside your loan application and any information your lender needs. Maybe you're doing a first-time homebuyer program in your area and they require you to take a special class to learn how to budget or just other information about being a first-time home buyer. Okay, you have made it past the appraisal and you are finally ready for the last step of this process, which will be closing the property. Now you have completed all the steps for your loan. That is ready to be issued out. We need to meet for closing, where we will review our settlement statements, make sure all of the money in this transaction is going to the right parties. We'll review that final closing statement. Everybody will sign the papers for the mortgage and for the transfer of the deed and so on and so forth. And then there's a wire transfer that happens, and congratulations, you are now a homeowner. The keys are exchanged to you, hopefully, and everything is taken care of on this day. Now, I can't stress this enough. Please reach out to professionals in your area, especially if you're purchasing a home. In most cases, it's not going to cost you any money. If you are searching for a real estate agent in your area and you're not necessarily sure where to start, DM me. I would be happy to vet agents in your area for you. Real estate agents work off of a referral system, so if you wanted me to, on your behalf, vet people for you, I would be compensated by that agent once I made that connection. But at no cost to you, I would be happy to shoot several agents in your area a phone call to make sure that they would offer you the same level of care and skill that I would if you were one of my clients. So that being said, you can go ahead and check out more pertinent information in our blog. I will leave a link to that in the description of this video. And if you haven't already, go ahead and check out the rest of our wonderful videos here on the channel, and subscribe. I'm going to keep making content. This is kind of a dream for me, so I'm very blessed and very excited to be in this position of my life where, you know, I can sit in front of this camera and help you guys figure out what you want to do as far as your real estate needs are concerned. Anyhow, we'll see you on the next one.